On this week's edition of Let's Talk Wrestling, we discuss Roman Reigns heading to SmackDown and why it's the wrestling fans' fault Roman Reigns isn't turning heel anytime soon. Let's discuss it. As always, thank you everybody for coming back to the Rigsby's channel, and let's go beast on that subscribe button. Let's go beast on that like button. And let's go beast on Let's Talk Wrestling episode 5, Roman Reigns heading to SmackDown. We discussed this about 2 weeks ago, I believe. About 2 weeks ago. However, reports are now coming out that Roman Reigns is going to be drafted to SmackDown when WWE does their annual draft, when they have brand splits. So let's go over the reason why he's going to head to SmackDown and why it makes perfect sense for them to do it. They've used up all of the matchups for him on Raw within 1 year. They burned through them all. Remember, just last year alone before the draft, they did Seth Rollins. They did the triple threat. Then, out of the draft, they've done Kevin Owens, Braun Strowman. Now they're doing The Undertaker. Who's left for him to fight? Rusev as well. Don't forget Rusev. So literally, who's left for him to fight? Sami Zayn? Not going to happen. So you move him to SmackDown. Now, who comes from SmackDown to Raw? That's going to be AJ Styles. Guaranteed. That's what's going to happen. Now, the reason this is happening is to create fresh matchups. Baron Corbin versus Roman Reigns. Potentially Dean Ambrose versus Roman Reigns. The Miz versus Roman Reigns, etc., etc. Of course, John Cena versus Roman Reigns. And he's not going to be heel when he's on SmackDown. I can almost guarantee you this is going to happen by June. I assume they're going to do the draft a little earlier. Probably around May. I would say late April, but that seems too soon, so let's go with May. So now that we know that Roman's going to go to SmackDown, it's a personal guarantee. I would bet my channel on it. But why he won't be a heel going to SmackDown? Why he isn't going to be heel anytime soon? Let's get real about this. The reason Roman Reigns isn't a heel is the wrestling fans' fault. The very people who want him to be a heel. I'm not talking about casual women and children. I'm talking about wrestling fans. You guys listening to my podcast. People who watch other podcasts. People who search the internet for news. Hardcore marks, etc., etc. You're the reason he's not turning heel, and let me explain. You see, you've given the WWE a pass, and you've given the WWE the golden ticket. You did it with Cena, you're doing it now. Here's what you've done. You allow the WWE to be universal with him. He can be a heel with The Undertaker, but not really be a heel. Just be confident. You'll create the heel of him for yourself because you want him to lose, because you hate how he's booked, you hate how he's pushed, etc. He'll be a hero to the small kids and the women because he's larger than life and he's a good-looking male. So when you go to the arena, you buy a ticket for what? You buy a ticket to see him lose. If you have any wrestling knowledge at all, what's the best heel in wrestling worth? Buying a ticket to see them lose. You already do that. You already watch the product, talk about the product, obsess about the product. Why? To see him lose. You've given them the heel Roman without turning him, so why turn him? Now, I agree, it would be a much better product if Roman is heel. However, you've given them no incentive. None. Booing him out of the building is not going to change their minds. It's going to make them be steadfast because they don't have to do it. Why did Stone Cold turn babyface? Remember he was heel? Why did Stone Cold turn babyface? Necessity. Triple H was supposed to win that King of the Ring back in '96. There was a downfall of babyfaces. You guys turned him babyface. You could turn a heel babyface really quick. You can't turn a babyface heel. You can't do it. Not in today's product. They have to do it. You can make him a heel, but they can keep him a babyface as long as the merch is selling, and the merch is selling. Don't believe erroneous reports. I remember one that had him at 23rd. Completely erroneous. If you look up their P&L, because it's got to be made public because it's a publicly traded company, he's in the top 5. His merch is in the top 5. So guess what? He ain't going anywhere. Now, if you're sitting back and you're disagreeing with me or yelling at your phone or yelling at your computer monitor, What the hell are you talking about? We know what's best. We know what's best. Well, have you ever thought of this? If you really want Roman to turn heel and you really want the product to get better, have you ever heard of negative into a positive? Here's what I mean. Stop booing. I'm serious. Stop booing. Stop booing loudly. Stop booing prominently. You want to know what you do? Don't make a sound. Don't make a sound. Every time he comes out, sit quietly. That's it. Don't write about him. Don't discuss him on Twitter. You have to make him irrelevant. If you make him irrelevant on social media, as best as you can, and when you go to the arenas, you don't make a sound with Roman Reigns, that is when they will change. They only change when the bottom line is affected and the product gets affected. You see, your boos is fine. They use it. Listen to the announcers closely when they talk about whether you boo him or you cheer him, you react. They're telling you. They're rubbing it in your face. But you still eat it up. You see all the hate and the venom that you spit their way? You think it's a problem, and it's not. They love it. See, Eric Bischoff had an old saying, controversy creates cash. Roman Reigns is controversial in the internet community and among wrestling marks and among wrestling purists. And guess what? It creates cash. Now, ratings are down, but ratings have been down for years. That's an overall product problem, not a Roman Reigns problem. They're not going to place the blame on Roman for numbers going down when they've been down. And theoretically, if they run a 3 to a 2.5 now, they're fine. See, that third hour of ad revenue that JBL boastfully discussed, though inaccurate in how he said it, is accurate in the total number. You see, they can have KFC commercials, they can have a multitude of commercials because of the PG, and not, you know what, I take that back. Not because of the PG, because the Attitude Era was over 50% PG. The reason they can have it now is they are back to the 80s style. See, they brought that back, that kid-friendly style. It's a little mix of 03 and the 80s. They've mashed it together, and that's your product today. 03, a ruthless aggression era when you had Angle, Michaels, RVD, just a plethora of amazing talent. And I'm missing many names, and I'm not going to list them because we'll be here for an hour. And in the 80s, you had that kid-friendly, over-the-top ridiculousness. That's what you've got today. That's the mix you've got today. It only changed in the 90s when they were pushed to the brink of extinction. You have to push them to the brink of extinction. And how do you do that? Number one, you need competition. The only competition that's relevant is a New Japan ROH merger. Not going to happen. Full-time, anyway. Beyond that, we get back to what I was discussing earlier, and that's not making a sound. You need to stop. If that can happen on a consistent basis, then you change the product. And Roman is not the main problem. Don't get me wrong. But the Roman heel turn is quickly becoming the pot of the end at the Leprechaun's rainbow. Since it is St. Patrick's Day when I am recording this. Happy St. Patrick's Day to all you Irish folks. So I want to end on this, because we're going to have a short Let's Talk Wrestling today. It's not a good news week. The week in wrestling's been relatively bad. Impact Wrestling is garbage at this point. As Reba says, fuck the owl. But let's end on this. Roman's going to head to SmackDown as a babyface. Roman's best rivalry on SmackDown will probably be with Baron Corbin. He's a perfect matchup for him. And I can't wait for it. I think it'll be very interesting. But they may not do that for a while, because Baron will get cheered. The Miz might even get cheered, for God's sakes. The match is coming of John Cena and Roman Reigns. And I've read the reports about the WrestleMania 34 main event. If you believe any of that shit a year out, you're not too bright. Let's just be real here. You're not too bright. And you're going to see this reported everywhere. Everybody with a computer and a microphone is going to come out spewing shit on it. Listen, they do this every year. Did you really think the main event of WrestleMania 33 this time last year was going to be Goldberg and Lesnar? Did you really think that? You wait till SummerSlam. You wait till Survivor Series. Then you start to see it. Don't believe the WrestleMania 34 main event now. Do not be that guy. Don't fall for it. Just don't do it. Take it as entertainment. But if you want Roman to turn heel, it's very simple. Stop responding. And when they come out with the Roman hate t-shirts like they did with Cena, don't buy them. Don't do it. Don't buy them. Because they're coming within a few months too. But that's going to do it for Let's Talk Wrestling episode number 5, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got some insight. As always, let's go beast on that subscribe button. Let's go beast on that like button. And as always, guys, keep it beast.